Combining the right cards in Marvel Snap is one of the main keys to unleashing that fury onto your opponents, and it can be one of the main factors as to how quickly you're moving up the ranking ladder. And in this video, I'm revealing the best card combos for pool 1, 2, 3. So no matter where you are in the game, if you're ready to climb for the infinite with some of the most broken combos, then you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go snap it!
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Marvel Snap fans. Welcome back to the Valley Snap channel. I am ValleyFlyin, and I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the best card combos, and we're doing this for pools 1, 2, and 3. So no matter where you are in Marvel Snap, you could start to use some of these combos and start to dominate your opponents. Now, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Snap content. At least 5 Marvel Snap videos per week on this channel. If you enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to know as soon as a new video goes up, hit that notification bell as well. But let's get right into it. Let's check out the first combo. And in pool 1, one of the main cards that you're going to get and one of the combos that you're still going to use as you start to rise up the ranks is a Devil Dinosaur combo. And one of the best cards that Devil Dinosaur goes with is Moon Girl, because Moon Girl is going to increase your hand. It's going to double your hand. So if you have a Devil Dinosaur showing, you play Moon Girl. You may have 2 Devil Dinosaurs, but what it's definitely going to do is give you more cards in your hand, because Devil Dinosaur, for every card you have in your hand, is going to get an additional 2 power. So very, very strong. Other cards that you might want to use with Devil Dinosaur in pool 1, Cable, Sentinel, White Queen, they all add to your hand size and will make your Devil Dinosaur a lot stronger. Moving on to pool 2, one of the strongest cards in Marvel Snap right now is a pool 2 card, Infinite, 20 power, but comes with a caveat. If you played a card last turn, you cannot play Infinite. So goes very well with a card like this guy, Sunspot, who gains extra power every time you don't use your energy. So there are scenarios that you could play Sunspot on turn 1, don't play anything all the way to turn 6, and then play your Infinite. Can give you a lot of massive power. Now you may need to protect him with someone like Armor, with in case a Killmonger comes on the board, but Sunspot, Infinite, a strong combo. You could also throw a Jubilee in there as well, hoping to draw Infinite sometime before that last turn. So very, very strong combo with Infinite. Storm's another great pool 2 card that you're gonna get very, very early on. Has a great synergy with this card, Jessica Jones, because as you play Storm on turn 3, turn 4, you play Jessica Jones, and then on turn 5, Jessica Jones is gonna get some extra power. So very, very good to locking down a lane. Storm is a card that I'm still using as I approach collection level 2000, still with some awesome combos. Now, another combo that may work well if you're using a Silver Surfer deck is Storm, followed up by Juggernaut. So as your opponent starts to play something on the Storm location, Juggernaut will just knock that card over. Juggernaut's a very good card, but is a pool 3 card. Storm is a great control card that you should have in a lot of your control decks. Iceman is one of the best opening cards that you can get in Marvel Snap, and you get him in pool 2. Very strong opening combo, and it's gonna give a random card in your opponent's hand 1 cost. If it hits something like Sarah or Leech, that could totally destroy your opponent's plans. But a very strong opening combo that you could do all the way back in pool 2. Iceman on turn 1 to disrupt your opponents, then Scorpion in turn 2 to even disrupt them even more. So you're giving one of their cards an extra cost, and then you're giving all of their cards -1 power. So subtracting a power from all of their hands. Another great combo that you could use with Iceman as a 1-2 punch in the opening combo is Iceman, followed up by Black Widow. Now, Black Widow is a pool 3 card, but giving their cards an extra 1 extra cost, and then making it so they can't draw a turn on that second turn. Very, very strong opening combo that you could use. Moving into pool 3, one of the top pool 3 cards that you could use is Psylocke. Psylocke works very great in a ramp deck where you just try to get more energy than your opponents and playing these cards a little sooner, but also works very good with Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative is normally a 4-cost card, but if you pair him with Psylocke, you can play Mr. Negative on turn 3, which will allow you to get more of your cards out during that turn. So Mr. Negative on turn 3, very, very good card. Psylocke is a card that's going to allow him to get out on turn 3. Wave paired with Death is one of the combos combos that is all over the meta right now. And what you want to do in this combo is kill a few cards in the beginning before turn 5. On turn 5 is when you're going to play wave. You're going to get one of your cards at 4, and because you've killed a few cards, death can actually go down to 2 cost, even 0 cost if you've killed enough cards, and then you could play 2 cards on that final turn. So death and wave is a powerful combo. You could drop a lot of power right on that last turn and win yourself some cubes. Black Panther was last season's season pass card, and you can create some very strong combos with Black Panther. One of them that I like to do is playing Black Panther on an empty location on turn 5, doubling his power, and if he didn't get his power reduced or anything like that, he should be an 8 cost card. Then when you play Armanzola on top of him, he's going to be the only card that Armanzola can destroy, and then you're going to play him on 2 other locations. Because he started with 8, next time he's played, he's going to go 8. That's going to be double to 16. So Black Panther, assuming he gets no buffs or reductions, going to be 8 cost card. Then you could Zola him and then have 16 power in 2 other locations. It's a great combo for working with Storm and any other lockdown locations that you can't access. Dracula and Apocalypse is another very common combo that you'll see run. Every time you destroy your Apocalypse, he's getting 4+ power and return it to your hand. At the end of the game, Dracula is going to discard a card from your hand, and it's going to have this power. So if he happens to choose Apocalypse, and you've done a great job of reducing your hand size, so it's only Apocalypse that Dracula can reduce, that's going to be a lot of power in your hands. And it's not something that can be countered because Dracula is not an on-reveal card. It's not an ongoing card. So it's going to be very hard for your opponents to counter this. No Enchantress, no Cosmo. Dracula's still going to get his power. And hopefully you've done enough to discard Apocalypse, get his power up enough so that when Dracula discards him, you're gonna get a strong free Dracula on turn 6. A great early turn play that you could use in some of these discard decks is Colleen Wing paired with Swarm, because on reveal, Colleen Wing will discard the lowest cost card in your hand. Swarm is not a high cost card, so it's very likely, if you're playing this correctly, Swarm is the card that's gonna discard it. And when Swarm is discarded, he's gonna return to your hand with 2 copies, both at 0 cost. So paired that with that Dracula Apocalypse combo, you could be dropping a lot of power on your opponent on that final turn and make them rage. Maximus paired with Scorpion is an interesting combo that you could use in some of these disruption type decks. Maximus is a strong tempo play, 3 cost, 7 power, but comes with the downside of your opponent is drawing 2 cards, and if you pair him on the very next turn with Scorpion, all of those cards that your opponent draws is going to get 1 less power. So this isn't a game-winning combo, but it is something that could frustrate your opponents and possibly take them out of the game, possibly remove that strategy that they wanted to use on one of those final turns. Kingpin is like a movable Fisk Tower, and paired with someone like Arrow or Magneto and Polaris can destroy your opponent's cards, because when a card moves to Kingpin on turn 6, very important, only on turn 6, Kingpin is going to destroy it. So if you play an Arrow on turn 6, all the cards that they played go to Kingpin will get destroyed. Magneto can kind of do that on turn 6 as well, only pulling the 3 and 4 cost cards. Polaris doesn't work as good because you're only pulling one random 1 or 2 cost card, but Arrow Kingpin is going to be the way to go if you're trying to destroy all their cards. They thinking they're having a winning hand, and then you just destroy all the cards that they play on that final turn. Can be very frustrating for them. Daredevil paired with Professor X can win you 1 location, locking that down. Professor X is a strong card because he on turn 5, he's going to lock that location. No cards can be played there. Either way, you can't add or remove cards. And if you see what your opponent is going to do on turn 5, well, you could lock down wherever they don't go. Another combo that you could use with Professor X is with Spider-Man on turn 4, followed by Professor X on turn 5, just not allowing them to play anything on that at that location. But Daredevil also pairs with some other cards that will be very good if you know what your opponent is doing, like Gamora, like a lot of these other Guardians of the Galaxy cards, where if your opponent plays on that same location, you're going to get some extra power to those cards. Arrow is another great card that you could use with Daredevil, because if you move all your opponent's cards to a location that you're not trying to win, or that will be very not beneficial for them. It could screw them up totally. So Arrow pairs very great with Daredevil. So does Hobgoblin, because he's another 5-cost card that you could play. If you know what your opponent's doing, you're not going to have that risk of having that location filled and having that Hobgoblin in your hand. And you can really screw up a lot of what their plans are and maybe screwing up with their lane. So Daredevil is an awesome card and has some awesome synergies. Rescue is another great card that pairs very well with Professor X. You can play Rescue on a location on turn 4 and then follow up on that location on turn 5 with Professor X to lock down that location and also give Rescue an additional +5 power, pretty much locking that location with 12 power. In addition to Professor X, Jessica Jones works very well with Rescue as well, because if you don't play anything in that location later, you get an additional 4 power with Jessica Jones. Very, very strong play. Another great play for Rescue is playing Captain Marvel on turn 5 on top of Rescue. Captain Marvel allows you to move at the end of the battle. She's going to move automatically to win a location, can trick your opponent into thinking they win. Captain Marvel moves at the end of the match and making them feel very, very sad, because they've done all those calculations and maybe they didn't take Captain Marvel into account. And kind of a manual version of Captain Marvel, Vision. You can play Vision on top of Rescue, giving her the additional 5 power, and then on turn 6 you can move Vision. So like a manual version of Captain Marvel to another location and hopefully getting enough power to win all of them. Doc Ock can be a huge gamble. A 5-cost card, 10 power, but what you're going to do is pull 4 random cards from your opponent's hand to that side of to their side of the location, and you could pull some very bad cards of them, screwing up some of their combos, or you could pull some very good cards off of them and screw yourself up. Like maybe you pull an Infinite and a Death, and yeah, that location is lost. But introduction of Heimdall on turn 6 will move all of your cards to the left, especially if you play Doc Ock on that right location, and move all of your cards to that left and middle location. That could be a game-winning combo right there. So don't sleep on Doc Ock, especially if you have Heimdall. I'm moving into some awesome combos for some cards that I don't own. First one is Viper. Now what Viper does is your opponent is going to gain control of one of your cards, and if you move one card to a single location, well, Viper is going to make your opponent control that card. One powerful combo that you could use with Viper is a card like Electro. Electro is going to give you an extra energy. The downside of only playing 1 card per turn, but if you play Electro, you get that on reveal, giving yourself 1 extra energy, and then you play Viper. Send it to the other side so they could play only 1 card. That could be a very, very strong combo. Viper also goes well with discarding some of your trashy cards, like Mr. Negative, who's a -1, a Hood, which is also a negative card, and that could be a strong opening turn combo. Hood on turn 1, send that card over to your opponents on turn 2 with Viper. Last but not least is that upcoming card, Sentry, because what Sentry is going to do is give you a negative card at that far right location, and if you want to send that over to your opponent, that could be a very strong game-winning combo. So Viper has some strong combos in this game. Zero is only a 1-cost card, but pairs well with so many cards in this game that have some ability that you don't want. So on reveal, what he's going to do is removing all of those abilities the next card you play. So Wells works very well with a card like Red Skull, who has a lot of power, 15 power, but has the ability that you may not want, because it's going to strengthen your opponent's power on the other side. Also, Typhoid Mary, reducing your cards. If you play that Typhoid Mary very early on, you have a lot of power on the board, and you won't get that reduction if you play Zero right before Typhoid Mary. Destroyer is another card that you might want to remove the abilities from. If you play Destroyer correctly and you have your Cosmos and your armors there, you can protect your cards. But if you play Zero and then Destroyer, you're just getting that 615 power on the board. Atuma is another card that would work very well with Zero. If you have other cards at that location, Atuma will destroy himself, so you don't want that to happen. You just want that 10 power. Zero, then Atuma. Last but not least is a very strong opening play, Zero followed by Maw, because Maw doesn't allow you to play cards at that location, and it's a very strong 1-cost, 7 power card. So if you want to still play cards behind Maw, start with 0, second turn, go with Maw, and that'll be a lot of power that your opponents may not be able to get that tempo back in that match. Some of the strongest combos in the game come from Wong, card that I've been waiting to pop up in my token shop ever since day one. Some of the common combos that you see with Wong is Wong with White Tiger followed by Odin, giving you a lot of extra 7 power cards across your board. Ironheart, Wong followed by Ironheart, followed by Odin is another one, just increasing your power across the board. And of course, Wong with Silver Surfer does some strong effects for your 3-cost cards, especially if you have Brood in there or something like that. You'll have Silver Surfer do his power effects 2 times instead of once. Now, another strong combo with Wong is Wong and Gambit, destroying your other cards. Now, we will discard a card from your deck every time that happens, so you usually want to play this on the final turn, but an early wave followed by Onslaught, and then you play Wong followed by Mystique followed by Gambit, you could destroy a lot of cards on your opponent's side. Very interesting play here. That is one combo that I definitely want to try as soon as I get Wong. Luke Cage is one of the newer cards in Marvel Snap right now and works very well with a card like Hazmat, because Hazmat is going to reduce all the cards power by 1, not just yours, but your opponents as well. But if you have Luke Cage on your side, your cards cannot have their power reduced. So Hazmat, Luke Cage works very well, especially if you pair Hazmat with someone like Wong, allowing Hazmat to go multiple times could be very debilitating for your opponent. And if you have Luke Cage, won't do anything for you. Luke Cage could also give you a strong play of Typhoid Mary, because she's not going to be reducing the power of your cards. So Luke Cage, very strong combos available. More crazy combos available with Shuri, and some of the more common combos that I'm seeing with Shuri is Shuri followed by Doc Ock, increasing his power to 10. And even if you're pulling a lot of your opponent's cards onto that side of the board, onto their side of the board, well, then they may not be able to overcome that 20 power on there. Shuri followed by Arrow will pull all of your opponent's cards onto that one location. Then you follow up on that final turn with Zola. Could be very tough for your opponents to overcome that. You're going to replace Arrow on those other locations. 16 power instead of 8, so it could be very good. And finally, let's talk about Shuri and Red Skull, increasing the power of Red Skull, doubling it, increasing it to 30. And then on the final turn, you could play Taskmaster, another location. Could be very strong game-winning combo if you got Shuri. Fast is one of the strongest cards in Marvel Snap right now. So many different archetypes that he fits into, making a lot of decks better. One card that he makes better, from a useless card, an almost useless card, to something that now is going to benefit you, is Adam Warlock, allowing you to draw an extra card if you're winning that location. Instead of a 0 cost, it's going to be instead of a 0 power, it's going to be a 3 power with Bast playing before that. Cerebro, making all of your cards in your hand set at 3 power will help to increase and boost Cerebro. And last but not least, one of the strongest decks that I'm seeing right now is Bast and his Silver Surfer deck, especially paired with Adam Warlock, allowing you to draw more of your cards. Works very well. And those are some of the top combos in Marvel Snap right now. Let me know what your favorite combo is, and let me know if there's a strong combo that you're using that I left off of this list. I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Snap content, at least 5 Marvel Snap videos per week on this channel. I will see you guys next time. Have fun snapping, ladies and gentlemen. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. Have a great day, guys.